Shalom. Today I will discuss with you about citizenship for children or grandchildren of American citizens born here in Israel. My name is Michael Decker and I'm a lawyer within the law offices of Decker Picks, Ophir & Co. Our office handles U.S. immigration, visas to the U.S., business visas to the U.S., and arrangement of status in the U.S. And today, as explained before, I'm going to explain about citizenship of U.S. Parents or U.S. grandparents and the children or grandchildren. So basically, if both parents of a child are U.S. citizens, the registration is the easiest. The conditions aren't much, and it's possible to register this child as a U.S. citizen in the U.S. Embassy in Israel. The parents will need to prove some sort of residence in the U.S. If only one of the parents is a U.S. citizen, then it becomes a bit more difficult, and this parent will need to prove at least 5 years of residence in the U.S. The proof of residence needs to be at least 2 years above the age of 14, when all the 5 years, of course, can also be above the age of 14, and the evidence needs to be evidence of actual residence in the U.S., such as studies in grade school, in high school, in the university, work and employment in the U.S., like pay stubs. And it's important to note that the evidence needs to be evidence of actual residence. So let's say owning a property doesn't prove residence because you can own a property and live in a different country. Therefore, for example, utility bills on the name of the person is great evidence because that actually proves that the person lived most likely in the States and was paying utility bills for rent. The same goes for actual studies in the U.S. and so on and so forth. But what if both the parents aren't, one parent only is a U.S. citizen and this parent cannot prove 5 years of residence in the U.S.? Is it still possible to possibly apply for the child for U.S. citizenship? The answer is yes, through the grandparents. There's a grandchild clause as well. In this case, the relevant grandparent will need to prove 5 years of residence in the U.S. with the same type of evidence I explained before. What about appointments at the embassy? Many clients of ours have problems and difficulties scheduling an appointment, and sometimes we are dealing with urgencies. In this case, when there is an urgency for an appointment, and if there's a legitimate reason to go to the U.S., we can apply for an urgent appointment, but usually appointments can take some time. And lastly, what if neither the grandparents nor the children, their children, meaning the parents of the relevant child, meaning the parents or grandparents cannot prove 5 years of residence? Is it possible, in this case, to apply for citizenship for the child or grandchild? This can happen, for example, if two Israelis are in the U.S. for work purposes and they have a child, and the child is automatically a U.S. citizen by birth. And then at age 2, these parents return to Israel, and this child is a U.S. citizen, but his parents are not U.S. citizens, and he never lived for 5 years in the U.S. So therefore, the child of this American citizen cannot apply for U.S. citizenship automatically. However, it's possible to apply for a green card. In this case, if this child is above the age of 21 and has kids himself or herself, the process can take a long time. If the child is under 21, the process can be quicker, and the relevant parent is required or expected at least to live in the U.S. with the child after the green card is approved. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any further questions on the matter, you can feel free to contact us.